Hello, everyone. We're going to be looking into the Karen Reed case today. I asked about what everyone's questions would be on a community post. So today I'm going to be going over the questions that were left there. This is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. Let's just get right into it. So question 1, why are the feds allowing this to go to trial? What can we know about why the feds are allowing this to go to trial? The Moon and the Hermit. Interesting. So something being concealed under darkness. The Hermit, to me, in this case, is like a witch hunt type thing because they have their sights set on the one sole individual. Ace of Swords, truth. So they think they can keep the truth concealed in darkness and go after the one person that they had their eyes set on, which would be Karen. I have a confirmation of that. Lies. So they think they can conceal the truth and have lies be what is attached to the one sole individual that they're after. So is it fair to say that in terms of the question, why are the feds allowing this to go to trial? They think, allegedly, my opinion, that they can keep their lies concealed under darkness and be in charge of what narrative is told about the one person that they're after. Down the rabbit hole. Down the rabbit hole, as in John wants to give more information about how they plan to keep the truth hidden and lies believed. Government in reverse. So I said, does John want to tell us more about how they plan to keep the truth concealed and the lies believed? Government in reverse. So 3 cards. What would John tell us about what we need to know about why the feds are allowing this to go to trial that exposes the government in some way? Political. Okay, confirmation. Okay, so 3 cards. John's going to tell us something about the plan of how they believe they're going to be able to conceal the truth and get the lie to be believable. 3 cards from John. Light in reverse. Delays. Death in reverse. Flight in reverse. So before you took off, before you left. Delays. Death in reverse. Something about her vehicle. Something about the damage done to her vehicle, or done the taillight or whatever it was that was messed up on the vehicle. Almost like exploiting that for all it's worth and using that as a plausible reasoning that it could have been her. Secret trip in reverse. So it's not a secret that she was there. It's known that she was there. There's damage to the vehicle. They think they can make that be believable enough that it won't flip on the other people in the house. That's what they're worried about, mental health. So they think that there is enough that they can latch onto those little things and exploit them to get it to look like the other things that are more far-fetched are true. Okay, let's go to the next question. Will Karen be found guilty, or will the defense's argument of a third-party culprit prevail? What can we know about the defense's argument of a third-party culprit? Hanged Man, Four of Wands in reverse, High Priestess in reverse. This to me feels like Karen being held as like the sacrificial lamb. This would be the opposite of a celebration. And then the High Priestess being reversed here. To me, it's still secrets being revealed. It's almost like, will the defense's argument of a third-party culprit prevail? This to me reads like a swing and a miss. Like the defense has something that they haven't used yet that they're planning to use, but it doesn't pan out the way they wanted it to. Yeah, the Chariot in reverse. It doesn't go where they need it to go. What kind of move is this that the defense has in mind that doesn't go where they need it to go? Like a swing and a miss type move. Stop movement, Colt. I feel like something about getting the phone data, it's like something that they thought was going to work in their favor ends up not working in their favor, as in the defense. Is that fair to say? Struggle in reverse, the struggle being exposed. What type of evidence is it that Karen's team thinks will work for her and ends up not going anywhere? Regret, greed in reverse. So it ends up not going anywhere. Greed being exposed. It's almost like if we can't get, how do I word this? If we can't get the information about the people, let's see if we can go for who's protecting the people. But it feels like that's the move that backfires. Inside in reverse. So something ends up backfiring. It's not that it just doesn't go in their favor, it works against them. Can I have one card that's like a descriptor, a descriptive, like a description of whatever the evidence is? Accomplice and partner. So I said, if you can't get information about the person, you go for who's protecting the person, but it ends up backfiring. Accomplice, partner. It's almost like they intend to try and go over someone's head about something, but they need something else to be denied first so that they have a reason to be doing that. I don't know how that translates. Is that correct? Affair and danger in reverse. So affair would be the same as the accomplice partner, the connection to avoid danger. So in order to make this move, we first need to be denied in this area. I don't know how that translates exactly. But what I guess what I'm getting at is it feels like something in court doesn't go forward for the defense And that gives them like a green light to be able to file something that would be in effect like going over someone's head. In over your head. Water in over your head in the water. I'm in over my head. It feels like it doesn't work in Karen's favor though. All right, let's see what else we get. Is the judge in on the cover up? Is the judge in on the cover up? 7 of Pentacles. Page of Swords. So this to me looks like if you were to have a private meeting in chambers where nobody else can hear, like that's what this looks like to me. And then this to me, these are statues. And this person's holding the book and the sword of truth. And these people are statues back here. To me, that looks like I'm given information. Because this would be the judge, okay? And then this would be the person talking to the judge. And then this would be that same person over here. So it looks like I'm given information. And then I allow that information to be what comes to the forefront. Is it fair to say that almost like I don't want to not be in the good graces of whoever is on the other side of getting this type of information to me? This feels like a middleman. Is it fair to say there's a certain narrative that the judge is trying to follow or hold to based off of connections that he has? Dismemberment in reverse, so all the pieces coming together. So all the pieces coming together, secret meeting. If there has been any line crossed when it comes to the judge's duties, what would be one side of the line and what would be the other side of the line? What's the side of the line before he crosses? Weird science in reverse. So the conspiring or the mixing of things being exposed. And then what's on the other side of the line if it's crossed? Final ending. So I see things starting to mix together that are going to make some kind of experiment. And by experiment, I mean, let's see if we can put all these pieces in place to get this result. Let's test this hypothesis. And then when I cross the line, final ending, pieces coming together. I'm seeing the pieces that are coming together that are going into this testing of a hypothesis to see if we can get a final ending. Can I have a confirmation if this means that at the very least, the judge has turned a blind eye to certain things to try and get this case closed against Karen? Mind control, controlling the narrative. Turned a blind eye. Mind control is like, I'm a zombie. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Just like going with the motions. Oh. It says obey. Let's go to the next question. What does John O'Keefe think of the treatment Karen has received? What can we know about what John would say about the treatment that Karen has received? Two of Pentacles in reverse, so things are off balance. Two of Cups, he still supports her. Strength. He sees that she's keeping it together under unfair circumstances. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, Wheel of Fortune, Six of Pentacles, the Emperor. See how there's the picture of the woman on the desk there, and then he's behind. This is like somebody else is in control of her fate. And Six of Pentacles, they're unwilling to change their mind, I guess I'd say. It's like, how do I want to word this? This would be the fate of Karen. This would be somebody else that's not her in control of the fate. This is like another party, it feels, that has her in their sights. It's like someone's focused on her fate being out of her own hands. I still support her. Things are off balance. She's holding it together even in an unfair situation where someone else controls her fate. Six of Pentacles is like, I am giving this person something. This is an exchange. I'm giving this person something so they control her fate. Is it fair to say that if John were to give a summary of these cards, it would be something along the lines of things are very off balance and unfair. It's almost like waiting for the other shoe to drop. He still supports her. He sees her strength in overcoming this situation that everything's up against her, in which there is someone giving something to another party because they have their eyes set on her and they want to exchange something, power, protection, money, something with this Emperor in order to control Karen's fate. Some sort of exchange to control Karen's fate. Love. I said a confirmation from John. So if we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, what's the shoe, what's the foot that's already on the ground, and what's the one that we're waiting to drop? Low vibrational in reverse, the one that's already on the ground. Low vibrational in reverse. The one that's already on the ground is we know how low they're willing to stoop to hide what wouldn't be in their favor. And what's the other shoe that we're waiting to drop? Snakes being exposed. Okay, so we know that they're willing to stoop very low to control the narrative. We're just waiting on them to make a mistake that exposes their evilness. That would be John. Okay. Love and dating, another confirmation. If John could give us two cards that would describe what he sees as the impossible situation that she's up against. or the unfair situation. 2 cards, how would John describe his perspective or his view of the unfair situation that he sees Karen up against? DNA in reverse. DNA in reverse. The unfair situation. DNA in reverse. DNA in reverse. DNA that's being hidden. DNA that's being hidden. So the unfair situation that Karen's up against, if there's DNA being hidden, that means if the DNA was not hidden, it would help Karen. So that would mean that there was either DNA that was John's inside of the home where he was claimed to not have been, or there was somebody else's DNA that should have been in the house that ended up on John. So is it that there was DNA that was hidden that was in the house, or is that there was DNA that was hidden that was on John? Solved. Bunch of fingerprints on the paper. It feels like that means there was John's DNA inside the house. Is it fair to say that there was John's DNA somewhere inside that house that's being covered up? Because if it was known that there was John's DNA inside the house, then it's clear that Karen didn't do this. But if they hid that DNA, is that what it is? Inside the home. Yep. Okay. So if John's DNA was inside the home, but he's claimed to never have been inside the home, okay, so this was the first card, DNA in reverse. What's the other card that John would use to describe the unfair situation that Karen's up against? Sad in reverse. So the I in reverse, what can't be seen? Oh, these are connected. Is it fair to say that whatever DNA was inside the home that's hidden or has been hidden would have very simply flipped this in a way that it would be clear as day obvious that Karen couldn't have done this? Like, if whatever has been hidden that was inside the house came to be in evidence, would Karen basically just be let go because it would be obvious that it couldn't have been her? Royalty and surveillance. If we could see clearly what was hidden that was inside the house, she would be let go. She would be re-given her place in society. If that's the message, can I have a very clear confirmation from John? Confession. Okay, that would be a very clear confirmation. Okay. Let me pick these up really quick. If there was one thing to look into for clear answers in the 3D, where to look? There's one thing to look for with clear answers in the 3D, where to look. Spouse, partner, debt, communication in reverse. So lack of communication between hired in reverse, unnatural causes. Money that was spent that wasn't communicated the real reason. I feel like this is pointing towards the work that was done inside that house. Unnatural causes, hired in reverse. Does this have something to do with the work that was done inside the house after this happened? Caregiver in reverse, because they didn't really care. Organized crime, they were all on the same page. Oh, because I just got to thinking about DNA and the DNA not being able to be found. The question was where to look. Is it fair to say there's nowhere to look now because they knowingly covered up for evidence that was inside the house by doing home renovation of some kind after this happened? How do I word this better? Is it fair to say that what they did inside the home was to cover up for the potential of any DNA being found? Democrat in reverse, abuse of power, private property. No unauthorized persons past this point. Abuse of power because I'm covering up something in the home so that I'm not found out. Is that fair to say? Intuition in reverse. I'm missing something. What am I missing? Murder in reverse before the murder. Interesting. Couple. Is it fair to say that this is pointing towards some element of like premeditation here in a plan? Affluent in reverse. So I'm overpowering you. I'm almost getting the energy of like I'm planning on making changes to the home. How do I? Either I'm planning on making changes to the home so I know I can have you in the home because I know that I'm going to be making changes shortly after. It feels like some piece of this is more premeditated, but I feel like it's something with the home. Red flag in reverse, so green flag. So that was a go. So almost as if they were previously planning on making changes to the home. So I know I can have you here because I know I'm going to be making changes anyway. Is that fair to say? Delays in reverse. So I'm not going to wait. I'm going to want to go there. Speech in reverse, lack of flow. Okay, let's go to the next question. Does John have a message for Karen before trial begins? If John could say something to Karen, what would it be? Queen of Wands, that would be Karen. The social queen, so the one that everyone is paying attention to in this trial. Page of Cups. Fish out of water. That's an anatomical heart there. Constellation would be John looking down at her. This scroll is some kind of information. Fish out of water plus information. I would say the message is that there's a need to think outside of the box when gathering some kind of intel. Because you're going to feel like a fish out of water, but there's certain information that you need that would be helpful. The star in reverse. The work you do in private behind the scenes. I almost read this as like not a deal per se, but like needing to figure out who the person is that it would be beneficial to have some kind of like, I don't know how to even word this. The Hermit, Ace of Swords. Those are the two cards from the beginning. The Truth, and this would be Karen. Is it fair to say that the message is there is someone who could be pushed for information if given the right like ultimatum or something to that effect? Male in reverse. So a male would flip. What information would John give to Karen before trial? Karen needing to think outside of the box or feel like a fish out of water, feel out of place. Feel out of place while getting the information in private, the truth about the one person they're going after, Karen. So someone that knows the truth. A male would flip. What would make this male flip? What kind of pressure would have to be put on the male for the male to flip? Truth being exposed. Accident. A lie about the accident. What kind of pressure would have to be put on the male for the male to flip a lie about the accident? A lie about the accident and the truth about Karen. The lie about the accident is the truth about Karen. Because the lie about the accident is that she hit him, but she didn't. Is it fair to say that the message is that there's someone that is getting a little anxious about the fact that they have to uphold something that they know to be untrue? Danger. Supplier. But I can't flip because of who I'm connected to. Is it fair to say that the message from John is that someone in that group is a weak link when it comes to information, but they would need to be feeling like their own butt was on the line in order to give some kind of information? This is like someone knows, someone that's claiming they don't know anything, has some kind of proof or information that Karen didn't hit him. Is that what this is? Celebrity. That would be the star in reverse, because this would be private. They're currently keeping that knowledge private. This would be them having the information that could be made public. What is the likelihood of this person flipping with this information? Hotel, motel, being given a key. They have to be given something. Let's go to the next question. Can you read the dog's energy of how he saw the events of the night play out? Let me get all these cards back for this one. Okay. The dog's energy of how he saw the events of the night play out. Can we know about if the dog were to tell us what happened start to finish to John? Two of Cups, Seven of Wands, So Two of Cups, John arrives and is talking. This is like maybe a literal scene of kind of standing in a hallway, drinking and chit-chatting with someone. But then this is this angry looking guy kind of leading this guy by the back of the neck. So we're talking, we're conversing, and then I'm kind of being strong-armed here and led in a direction. Ten of Wands in reverse. Putting down a heavy burden. He's tied to something and drowning while everybody else stands over and watches. But it's in reverse. Standing chit-chatting with someone, being led away from everybody else. Because I don't want the burden of everybody seeing. Ace of Wands. This is in the library too. This is like all the open books, like a gathering of information. Let's compare notes. There's that Page of Swords again. The Page of Swords, people standing in the back like a statue as another person. Here's the same book from over here. So comparing notes, now I know what you have, and everyone else just stands around and watches things unfold because there's nothing that can be done based off of now knowing what information you have, as in John. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. That's the same card that was representing a secret meeting in chambers. But now it's reversed. So this isn't a secret meeting in chambers. I'm standing talking to someone. Something is said. I'm led away from everybody else so we can put down the heavy burden, compare notes, figure out who knows what. I figure out what you know, and that's a problem. Everybody else just stands idly by because we're not having a private meeting. We're having a meeting in front of everybody else, and it's heated. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, an unfortunate turn of events. So compare notes. I don't like what you know. Everybody else knows there's nothing they can do about it now. They just kind of have to stand there and watch this unfold. We're having a heated discussion, not in private, and things take a negative turn of events. Four of Cups in reverse. So this looks like a therapy session there, but it's in reverse. So it's like, I'm not hearing you out. I'm telling you what I want you to know. And it's not a back and forth trying to work through something. It's a strong arm situation. Oh, I just flipped this over, and the Knight of, or the King of Wands is on the bottom of the deck. I think that's the same person. Okay, let's get clarifiers. So Two of Cups. John, from the dog's perspective, John walks in, is conversing with another person here. What was that conversation about? At the party. Okay, so this was just a typical party conversation. Then it goes from party conversation to, okay, now I'm being led away by someone who's a little bit angry. What made that happen? Revenge. Okay. So angry red guy seeking revenge then leads John away from the rest of the people so I can put down a heavy burden. I read this as, I need to know what you know because I'm mad. What is it that angry red revenge guy needed to know about what John knew? What information was he seeking from John? Down the rabbit hole. I want to know everything you know. About what topic? I want to know everything you know about caregiver in reverse. That to me feels like the young girl who was taken advantage of, because the other people should have been in a position to be maybe not caretakers, but like protectors, and it was not that. Sandra, her name. Anger in reverse, accomplice partner in reverse. So someone's anger was coming out about their role in something being exposed. Is that fair to say? Hotel motel, that's the key. So somebody was angry with John about their role in something being exposed that down the rabbit hole John had information about. So then we come over here, the comparing notes. What kind of notes were being compared? Danger in reverse, danger being exposed, home in reverse. What kind of notes were being exchanged? Home in reverse. I want to flip everything. I want everything you know. Danger in reverse. Is it fair to say that John did not want to willingly give the information that was being sought from him, and it became aggressive because of John not wanting to just give information that he didn't feel like it was safe to be giving? And that's what made everything start to take a turn. Conspiracy theory. John didn't want to give the information. Conspiracy theory. Is it fair to say that John saw the potential danger in what he was being questioned and tried to give different information? Like, I know what you're asking me and I know why, but I'm not going to give you what you're looking for. I'm going to give you something else so I can get out of here safely. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the knowledge that I have a secret because it can be weaponized. Okay, so confirmation. John is being questioned by someone who's seeking to know everything John knows about a topic so that they can make sure that they're not exposed for their role in it. John catches on to potential danger and tries to either give wrong information to mislead them. Basically, I'm giving you what I feel like I need to give you so I can get out of here safely. Is that fair to say? Drama in reverse. I don't want the drama. I want to go. Okay. Page of Swords. So I don't want to give information, but somehow this person then has the information that I didn't want to give. So how did the information come out anyway? What made the information come out? Secret government program. AI. This would be like, if I know for a fact that you know A and B, and I question you and you swear up and down you only know A, but I know for a fact you know B, so then I know you're lying. That's what that reads like to me. It's like, I know you know more, and the fact that you're not telling me at least what I know you know is making me recognize that you probably know more than what I even think you know, because you know enough to hide what you do know. Rival. Okay. So Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Now we're not having a private meeting. Now we're somehow back around other people. How did that come to be? We were in private. Now we're not. Fire in reverse. Plot twist. I'm trying to put the fire out. A plot twist. So it's almost like we're talking in private. Things cool down. It's almost like we go back with other people and then the other person recognizes that John intends to leave before things are solved and can't let that happen. Manipulating, gaslighting, control, puppet on a string. I need to keep you here. I can't let that happen. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So things take an unfortunate negative turn of events. We're in private talking, then we come back around the group and we're arguing. Things take a negative turn. Yes. New World Order. So things take a negative turn. Yes, they go into a direction where someone feels as though they need to have all of the control. And then we have Four of Cups in reverse. So this need to have all of the control work. So whoever this is that he's talking to here, is it fair to say that that other person that wants information from John, brings John into a private setting, then brings John back into a public setting, is it fair to say that that person is an officer? Thief. That person is an officer. That person is the one who That person is the one who took John's life. Low vibrational communication in reverse. Oh, this is the person that didn't know how to talk and communicate effectively. So it turned into this whole dramatic one-upping of, like, I have to be the one who gets one up on you as the other person to John. Solved in reverse. Not necessarily I have to get one up on you. I have to silence you because it's you or me based off of the information that you know about me. Stranger, yeah, I have to stay hidden. So 4 of Cups in reverse. It wasn't two people who were trying to solve an issue between the two of them. It was someone who was trying to strong arm John into silence. Is that fair to say? Justice in reverse. Trying to strong arm him to silence in not like the legal way. Okay, so this came out too. So let's just pull 3 cards for the King of Wands. DNA in reverse. Is it fair to say that there was the King of Wands DNA mixed in with John's DNA inside of that house? And that's why it had to be cleared or scrubbed or redone, because King of Wands DNA was mixed in with John's DNA. Is that fair to say? And that would have been bad. That would have been the final nail in the coffin for this person. So that was 1. 2 more for the King of Wands. Abuse and neglect and silencing those who know about it. Oh, abuse and neglect, silencing those who know about it. So this person has the power to make everybody else who knows anything be quiet. Why? Why does that person have that power? Ego. This person has the power to silence anyone else who knows about things that are hidden, because the other people know that this person will stop at nothing to try and cover their tail and make sure they don't go down for this. Regret in reverse. Someone who's locked up in handcuffs in reverse. I'll do anything to not go down for this. Let me pick up all the cards 1 second. Okay, the next one. The basement floor was either redone or painted over, and then the house was sold. Can we look into what exactly happened in that basement? How do I want to word this? Is what we just talked about in terms of there was a conversation that was had in private, was that conversation in the basement? 3 of Wands in reverse, the Tower in reverse, so no. This is kind of like the same scene as that 10 of Wands where he's attached to the little box thing in the water, and the Tower's reversed. So the private conversation is not what happened in the basement. Is it fair to say that everyone was in the basement, or there was people in the basement? The private conversation happened elsewhere, and then they rejoined everyone in the basement. Is that fair to say? King of Pentacles reversed, 2 of Pentacles. That's the other shoe that they're waiting to drop. King of Pentacles in reverse. King of the Castle in reverse. It's like I feel like essentially whatever private conversation happened took them away from the basement and then put them back into the basement because the other people were in the basement. Hierophant reverse, the mummy returns. Okay, if John could give us 3 cards to explain anything we need to know about the basement in terms of starting in the basement, leaving the basement, and coming back to the basement, what do we need to know? Con man, deep fake. So someone's not who he thought he was. They were. Digital. Distraction. Someone's not who he thought they were. Digital. Digital is like, it almost gives the energy of like, I'm trying to stay away from being seen on potential, like how cameras can pick up like lighting and shadows and stuff that wouldn't be in the basement. So it's like a safe place where shadows are not being seen. Why is the distraction card here? Distracted from what? Leaving. I'm distracting you from leaving. I almost feel like whoever it was that he was talking to, that they left the basement and then went back to the basement, going back to the basement feels like alluring. Like, I tell you I need you to help me with something, or I ask you to see something because I'm recognizing that you're trying to leave and I can't have you leave. So I have to get you back somewhere, and I get you back into the basement specifically so I can get it so you can't leave as easily. Caregiver in reverse. Someone who pretended to care or be a friend that wasn't. The King of Wands. King of Wands is, I said the King of Wands, and I got Death. King of Wands. King of Wands caused John O'Keefe's death. Is that fair to say? Exposed. The King of Wands caused John O'Keefe's death. Exposed. Okay. One second. Will the feds step in? Will the feds step in? Knight of Wands. Ten of Cups. He's like kind of like leaping in, playing this instrument, and he's very angry. This to me is because Knight of Wands, the message being received is that people are angry. This to me looks like just for show. Like, see how this person's working really hard on the garden over here, and he's kind of like waltzing by, like maybe playing instrument, maybe not. I get this feeling that because people are angry, it may look like they're stepping in to help without the actual intention to help. Eight of Swords in reverse, a release of something. Four of Cups, apathy. So we release something, but we're kind of indifferent to it. I don't feel like any actual real help is going to be coming in from them. Is that fair to say? Hidden key in reverse. So there is something they could do to help, but are not stepping in. Why are they not stepping in? Tunnel in reverse, sad. Don't want to go there while everyone's watching. It almost feels like if they absolutely have to, because people get that angry about it, they may step in and make it look like they're doing something, even though they don't really intend to have whatever they are pretending to do have that much of an effect. Yeah, social media in reverse. If we can control the narrative enough to calm people down, we won't have to step in. If we have to step in, we're going to make it look like we're doing something, but the something is not really going to have that much effect. Truth being concealed. The truth being concealed about what? Neighborhood, witness in reverse. Truth being concealed about what people knew or saw from inside that house. If the FBI were to step in, is it fair to say that what they would not do is claim that the people inside the house are lying? Weapon in reverse. Concealing of what happened. I don't feel like we're going to get progress out of anything the FBI would step in and do. Organized crime. Let's go to the next question. Is the judge biased? What can we know about if the judge is biased? King of Cups. All the people gathered around that table. The Ace of Wands was the card that represented the gathering and sharing of, or the sharing of notes or gathering of information. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, which is like sound the alarm, but in reverse. And then Seven of Cups in reverse. I have all these tools and I'm not using them. I would say he desires to keep the camaraderie that he has with those who would be affected if he took a different position in the case. Page of Pentacles in reverse makes me feel like turning a blind eye to certain things. Allegedly, my opinion. Turning a blind eye to certain of the notes. What would be in these books that would be a blind eye being turned to? Final ending in reverse. Ego in reverse. Cult in reverse. Beach in reverse. What would be in the books? Something that would make it so it's not a closed case, because it would be exposing someone's ego and what they cut off in terms of the cult being exposed. Something about how things are being covered up behind the scenes. And the process of something that's being covered up behind the scenes about connections between people would make it so it's not an open and shut case against Karen. Cleanup. It's something about the house, evidence being in the house. Almost like the notes being compared. Lack of flow towards exposing of an ego, fear, not exposing fear. Cleanup. Almost like the whatever happened inside that house, it needed to first be thoroughly like crime scene investigated. And it feels like because that didn't happen, there was something lost that otherwise would make it so that this was clear that Karen couldn't have done this. And if you get the notes of how that was allowed to happen, as in the changes to the house were allowed to be made without first getting a thorough investigation of it, if you look at how that was allowed to happen, you'll see this web of connection, and exposing that would lead to the lack of an open and shut case against Karen. So it's all lying in what happened to the house after this happened and why it was allowed to happen that way. That's the missing piece. Confirmation. Family in reverse. The people that were in the house were not who John thought they were. Anger in reverse. So concealing their anger. All right, I think I'm going to do this in 2 parts. It's going to be the end of part 1. There's still a lot of questions left, so I'm going to get to the rest as soon as I can. Please remember, this is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. Talk to you soon.